Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the new Jeep Meridian, which is somewhat based on the Jeep Compass but is a longer car with 2 extra seats. Now the Jeep Compass has always been one of my favorite cars and this one seems to be no different because it is a very capable car. So if you think that the extended wheelbase is going to reduce the off-road capability of this car as compared to the Compass, you would probably be mistaken. We are going to talk about this car in great detail today. You will get details about this car which you will not get anywhere else. So if you're interested in the Meridian, whether you want to buy it or not, this is the video where you are going to get every single detail about this car. Let's get started. Now the first thing that a lot of you would be interested in knowing is how big is this car in terms of dimensions. So to give you a perspective, let's first talk about how big in terms of the length, breadth, height and wheelbase is it bigger than the Jeep Compass. So the official numbers are, it's about 364 mm longer, about 41 mm wider, 58 mm taller, and the wheelbase is longer by a massive 146 mm. Now you put it in perspective with the rest of the cars in this segment, the Kodiaq is a little wider and it also has a slightly longer wheelbase, but this car is longer overall and has a taller height. Of course, the cars like the Gloucester are bigger in every which way you look at it. The Fortuner, however, while being longer and taller, is not as wide, nor does it have as much wheelbase as this car. So that's about the dimensions. It may not look as wide, as big as say the Fortuner, but it indeed is quite a big car. Now in terms of design, there are quite a few big changes as compared to the Compass, and Jeep is projecting this, of course, as a more premium, more sophisticated car, since this is a bigger, more expensive car as well. So a lot of chrome has been used here, and as you can see, unlike the Compass, this has a ton of chrome here on top and at the bottom of the radiator grille. The design of the grille itself is different. At the bottom you have this styling and it doesn't have a flat dam like the Compass. You also get additional chrome at the bottom of the bumper and here as well. Not just these chrome elements make the car look more premium, but also somehow add to the width of it. Also, a big change is the new headlamps, and unlike the Compass, they are not flared out at the edges. They are very flat, very streamlined, very slim, and they really look very nice. Now if you look carefully at these headlamps, you have this really unique pattern inside, and these DRLs also double up as the blinkers, and this pattern is replicated across the entire car. Even this part of the grille here and this design here is somewhat similar. So this pattern is replicated across the car in various different places. Another great thing about these headlamps is that they have a throw of up to 200 meters, which should be fantastic while cruising on the highways. It also comes with a 360-degree camera, and that unit is right here. You have LED fog lamps, and the design up front looks really smart. It also comes with front sensors. And coming towards the right, the length of the car makes itself evident, but not in a disproportionate manner. It does come across as a very well proportioned car. The wheels here are new. They are 18 inches just like the Compass. However, they are machine cut, two-tone, and look fantastic. You have discs up front and at the rear. Bridgestone Dueler 235 section tires. The ground clearance has not been spelled out to us. Unfortunately, we have asked that several times, but for some reason Jeep is not letting out the official ground clearance numbers. However, by the looks of it, this appears to be an unladen ground clearance of about 210 mm to me, which should be sufficient. Now when you look at the car from the side, it obviously is a longer car. You have this additional big windscreen here to allow for light to the third row passengers, and it does really work. On top, the roof rail has this chrome element which is absent on the Compass. Around the greenhouse area also you have this lining of chrome, and the roof here has been given a floating treatment. And not just that, the entire roof is black, so that makes the exterior of the car two-tone, and it does look very differentiated. At the bottom also you have this chrome lining and Meridian branding on the front door. Also, if you look at the ORVMs, they are painted in black and have this chrome lining, and at the bottom you have this 360-degree camera unit along with an LED blinker. It does look very smart from the side and does not look disproportionate at all. Coming towards the rear, you have a very different treatment given to the behind or the posterior of this car, and There is this massive chrome element which is rather wide. The tail lights are very slim, just like the front, and not flared like the ones on the Compass. You have these guide lights here and the brake lights at the bottom, and on the sides you have the blinkers. Here you have the reverse light, and the same light serves the purpose of being a fog lamp on the other side. Again, just like the front, you have this chrome treatment here, and at the bottom you have a satin silver scruff plate. Another highlight here is the fact that the tailgate is powered, and if there is any obstruction, the tailgate is going to stop in its track for the user's safety. In terms of boot space, this car gets 170 liters with all 7 seats up, plus 31 liters storage in bin space. Also, if you put down the third row with 5 occupants, this car will get a boot space of 481 liters. And if you put all 3 rows of seats down, you will have 1760 liters of boot space. Now, just to put things in perspective, the Kodiaq has 2005 liters of boot space, which is slightly more than this if you put all the 3 rows down, and with all 3 rows up also there is slightly more space there at 270 liters. Underneath this floorboard you also have some extra space to spare, and this depth is mostly occupied by all the tools, but you do have this additional space. And on the side you have this little tray along with this hook here, although you don't have any power outlets at the rear. The spare wheel sits right here. The boot operation is not gesture based, but you can use this key also and press this twice for the tailgate to go down. Now, to start off, the interior of this car is quite similar to the Compass, but there are additional features and the quality of the materials is better. So for example, all of this is soft to touch, and this leather that you see here is high quality McKinley leather. So that's one difference. Now you get these electrically operated controls for the mirrors, which are also folding, by the way. And while the front 2 windows are one touch up and down, the rear windows are only one touch down, and to bring them back up again you have to keep them pressed. You have generous amounts of space for bottles, so you can put a 1 liter bottle very easily and another one here, and there is some space to spare. You also get a very high quality Alpine audio system here, which sounds rather good. It's not like the extreme audiophile level audio, but it's pretty damn good and sounds very well even at top volume. Another great thing you have here is that you have electric controls for the seats along with lumbar support in all 4 directions, and this is consistent on the passenger side as well. So you get electric controls for the passenger as well, and you also get 2-way memory for the driver. You get piano black here around the satin silver door pulls, and all of this is very nicely done. You also get this Jeep branded scruff plate here, which looks very nice. And let's now jump inside the cabin and see what else is there. Now the height here is slightly higher than ideal. This is not like the Fortuner where you really have to clamber into the car, or like the Gloucester. It is still very manageable, although the very short ones amongst you might have a little bit of an issue, but this is still ideal for a proper off-roader like the Jeep Meridian. The lighting controls are here, and this is the leveler. You have a dead pedal as a footrest, and the steering is of course both tilt and telescopically adjustable. You have a proximity sensor, so once you approach the car you don't really have to take the key out of your pocket as well. Now the dashboard is made of really nice soft to touch material, which is fantastic, and this McKinley leather is there on the dashboard as well, and this inlay is also very beautifully done. The AC vents are horizontally laid out with this beautiful satin silver inlay right here, and it really is very sturdy as well, beautifully done. The flow control can be done using these dials here. Glove box could probably have been a little bit better. This is not cooled as well. However, you do get wireless charging here as well as ventilated seats, and the controls are here in the screen. The screen is a 10-incher with UO Connect, and this digital instrument console also is a fantastic unit and is sized at 10.2 inches. The feeling from behind the wheel is that of being in a car which is very beautifully appointed. We loved what Jeep did with the Compass facelift, and the premium quality, the richness is all there to be experienced. You also have this armrest which is sliding and has tons of space underneath, and you can easily fit a few cell phones and a few wallets right here. The volume of the armrest compartment is 4.6 liters. There are 2 cup holders here, and you also have the space where you can probably put your cell phone if you so wish. The material used at this central panel is piano black, which catches dust rather easily. And all these blanks that you see here are for the all-wheel drive version, and you get controls for engaging 4 high, 4 low, engaging hill descent, and for the hold button. So all of these blanks are actually functional on the all-wheel drive version. Another great thing is that the materials used here on the sides are also soft to touch. Generally, in a lot of other cars, you will see cost cutting happening here, but here at the lower part of the dash also you have soft to touch materials on the sides, but at the lower dash you have hard plastics. Now, while this car does come with a 9-speed automatic, you don't have paddle shifters, and you have buttons for volume on the right and for seek, as in like changing the track, here on the left. And you also have a push button start here. The touch response from this beautiful 10-inch screen is phenomenal. It comes loaded with navigation, and it comes with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. It also comes with connectivity features where you can use the Jeep app to connect your phone with this, and there are 15 plus features that you can use on this car using your cell phone. Now, in terms of AC, you get a dual zone unit, and it does its job rather well. And even with temperatures outside being about 42 degrees, very high, the cabin is being cooled at a very quick pace. So the AC here is actually very efficient. In order to cool the cabin effectively, the AC gets 12 air vents. You get a proper USB socket and a Type-C USB socket here, although you don't have a 12-volt power socket up there. Now, the sunroof here is a huge panoramic unit, and the controls are pretty simplistic too, and you just have to press it once to take it halfway back, and once the blinds reach halfway back, you have to press it once again for it to go all the way back. However, to bring it back again, you just have to press it once. You have this button here for turning ventilation on the glass panel, and you can take it back by pressing this one touch button. The IRVM, as you can see, is auto dimming, and you have vanity mirrors with illumination for both the driver as well as the passenger. You also have toll ticket holders. The audio quality, as I mentioned, is fantastic. You get 6 airbags as standard, and in terms of electronic safety net also, this car is very well equipped. The handling is fantastic, so the active safety here is very good. The quality of the seats is one of the best out there, and along with this quilted treatment and the bolstering, it looks fantastic. It also gets this Jeep embossing, and it does look and feel very premium as it is comfortable. The seat belt is also height adjustable, so that's another great feature. So no complaints whatsoever in terms of the richness of the interior. It is in fact one of the most premium looking interiors that you'll come across, and I really like what I see here. Even the steering is leather wrapped and does indeed feel fantastic to hold. All in all, a very richly appointed front part of the cabin, and it does make you feel like you're driving a very premium car. And for those of you who are missing the Skoda Kodiaq since it's sold out, I really think that the Meridian with its 7 seats is going to be a genuine premium alternative. Let's get to the second row of seats and see how much space do we have there and what features are being provided. Now, the doors here open really wide, 80 degrees, which is the widest in the segment, and it facilitates good entry, easy entry into not just the second row but also the third row. McKinley leather here, piano black, satin silver door pulls, and space for 1 liter water bottle, along with some space to spare here, a speaker and a tweeter. And the rear seat is slightly taller than the front, so the shorter ones will have a little bit of a problem. But this one is not as tall as some of the other SUVs like, say, the Gloster and the Fortuner, as I mentioned. No dearth of knee room or leg room, although I could probably have done with more space to move my legs, but I am not complaining. Good thigh support as well, good headroom, and blokes who are as tall as 6 feet should not have any problem whatsoever. You have 2 adjustable headrests. The third headrest here is fixed. You have this armrest, 2 cup holders, and the seats here again draped in the fantastic, the beautiful McKinley leather, so it does feel very premium. Now, in terms of reclined angle, the second row moves from 25 to 29 degrees. That's a total range of 4 degrees, and you cannot stop anywhere in between. You also get these lights here along with a coat hook and this handle, rear AC vents, a USB socket, and a 12-volt power socket here. There is space for 3, although if you seat 3 abreast here, they won't be very comfortable because there is a bit of a hump here, and this seat is not perfect for a third passenger. It doesn't even have a headrest, as I mentioned, although this car does come with ISOFIX child seat mounts and can be split 60-40. So in terms of comfort, there is absolutely no problem. The insulation is fantastic, the sound quality is great, and you don't get any noises coming into the cabin. So it is indeed a very comfortable cabin for two, and it can be a little bit of a squeeze for three. You also have these magazine holders in the seat backrests, and if you are going to be seating two here in the second row, I think it's perfect. There is absolutely no issue whatsoever, as the windows are also IR cut, so they cut the heat of the sun outside and keep the cabin really cool. Now let's get into the all important third row of seats, because I'm pretty sure that that's the reason why you're going to choose the Meridian over the Compass. Let's get there. Now the great thing about the second row is the door opens wide, so you have enough space, and then you just have to use this lever here, and it's one touch, tumble and flip, so you have ample space to get in. So Jeep have really thought it through, although it's not an electric system like the one that you get in Karen's, but I'm not comparing because no other car in this segment offers any better ingress than this car. So it really is very convenient, and getting in is reasonably easy, although the space here is not all that great. Now if you really compare it with the less expensive 7-seaters also, like say the Ertiga or the Karen's, or even the less expensive SUVs like say the Safari, the space there is more. So these seats are not very spacious. They recline quite some far way back, as you can see here, so you really can lean back, but it's very low. The bench is very low, so knees are going to be pointing skywards. That is a bit of a problem. And also if you're 5 feet 10 like me, your knees are also going to be rubbing with the backrest of the second row. So the space here is decent only for kids. If you're an adult, this seat is useful only for short journeys, so be aware of that. The third row has a wider range of 21 to 32.5 degrees, and it also reclines at every 2 degrees, so you can set it at multiple angles. There also are two bottle holders cum cup holders here, and these are not really suitable for big bottles. Medium sized bottles can fit here very easily. The AC vents are here in the roof, which is a great thing, so you do get very good cooling right on top of your head. And talking about the headroom here is just about sufficient for people who are up to 5 feet 10, 5 feet 11, but beyond that you won't have enough headroom here. The windows, as I mentioned when I was telling you about the exterior, are pretty big and they prevent you from feeling claustrophobic. This area also helps you rest your arms, so it doubles up as an armrest. And overall, while the recline angle is something that I appreciate, the overall space here is not really something great to write home about. Another problem you have here is that these seats in the second row are not sliding type, so you cannot even ask the passengers in the second row to make some more space for you. So while these seats are good for kids, they are not really meant for adults. And just the way I mentioned, getting out is also not much of an issue. It's not the easiest car to get in and get out, but it's not too uncomfortable either. Talking about the driving dynamics both on and off the road, the Meridian is a revelation of sorts. Its primary rival is the Skoda Kodiaq, which is similar in size and can match it in terms of road manners. The Meridian not only matches the Kodiaq on the road, but it absolutely demolishes it in terms of off-road performance. In that context, the Meridian will present itself as a premium 7-seater alternative to the Kodiaq with impeccable on and off-road capabilities. I don't currently see a 7-seat SUV in the marketplace which can match the Meridian for its all-round capabilities pound for pound. The Jeep gets a unibody architecture for fantastic road manners. Its body is made of 63% hot stamp, high strength or advanced high strength steels, ensuring a solid build. Like the Compass, it also comes equipped with independent suspension at both ends for a smoother drive, great stability and traction. The suspension system also gets frequency selective damping and hydraulic rebound stopper. Frequency selective damping allows additional oil flow through FSD valve on lower frequencies, or in layman terms, for milder and more frequent bumps. This keeps damping force low for enhanced ride comfort at low vibrations at mild bumps also. The hydraulic rebound stopper allows for the rebound stroke of the suspension to be nice and smooth, avoiding undesirable oscillations and making the ride more planted and comfortable. All that tech definitely reflects in the way the Meridian handles on the road. We had a set of nice twisties on our way to the challenging off-road track Jeep had built for us. The Meridian showed excellent road manners all along. The steering feels light at low speeds and even at dead center, but as you show it a set of bends and lateral G's increase, the weight on the steering increases beautifully, inspiring confidence like a few other 7-seat SUVs can. The steering feels lighter than the Kodiaq at slow to moderate speeds, but feels heavier as you chuck it hard into corners. I love the precise feel of the steering and the fact that it feels light and easy to maneuver in tight spaces, with the best in class turning radius. It truly is a well-engineered chassis suspension steering trio which would delight discerning users. No complaints whatsoever. Even the noise insulation is fantastic, cutting out outside noises to a segment leading level. Now, we have seen the 2-liter turbo diesel that does duty on the Meridian on the Compaas as well. For the Meridian, the final drive ratio has been calibrated for even better performance than the Compaas. The engine dishes out 170 PS and 350 Nm, which is not the best absolute number, but its 0 to 100 acceleration of 10.8 seconds for the AWD variant is indeed impressive. The Meridian with its 1.8 to 1.9 ton weight also boasts a power to weight ratio of 95 PS per ton. Claimed top speed is 198 km per hour, which should cross the 200 mark on the speedo. Fuel efficiency for the AT isn't mighty impressive, but passable for such a big vehicle. Our test suggested a city mileage of 8 to 9 kmpl and a highway number of 12 for the 9-speed automatic. Talking specifically about the transmission, the vehicle will get a 9-speed automatic and a 6-speed manual transmission. The car will also be available in 4x2 and 4x4 variants, although the 4x4 will be available only with the 9 automatic. It won't be available with a 6-speed manual. The Meridian's AWD system will turn it into a two-wheel drive wherever the conditions permit to improve efficiency, and also has the capability to disconnect the drive shaft when possible. The transmission is smooth and does its job fairly well, although it does seem a tad too busy to me at times. For small changes in part throttle inputs, the transmission seems overly keen to shift ratios, which sometimes makes me think if the 9 ratios are too many. I cannot help but compare it with ZF's own 8-speeder, which has only one cog less, which in my books is one of the finest transmissions out there. To sum it up, this automatic is pretty good but not the best. The Meridian also gets off-road modes in the form of Jeep Select Terrain Suite. In addition to the auto mode, which is good enough for most conditions, you also get snow mode for low traction conditions where the car can launch in second gear. You also get a sand mud mode for boggy or muddy conditions. Talking specifically about the off-roading capability of the car, the Meridian simply astounded us with its off-road prowess, especially after having experienced its fantastic capabilities on the road. Our initial impression before we drove it off the road was that owing to its 7-seat configuration and a longer wheelbase, its off-road capabilities would probably be compromised. Jeep, however, has worked really hard to ensure that the off-road DNA of the brand is not compromised one single bit, and the Meridian can go where the Compaas can. The approach, departure and breakover angles of the AWD variant stand at 21.5 degrees, 23.6 degrees and 23.1 degrees respectively, and these values are lower on the front wheel drive variants. While the Jeep hasn't released the approach, breakover and departure angles of the 2021 Jeep Compass facelift, the claim was that the Meridian has better approach and departure angles as compared to the Compass. As for our doubts about the breakover angle, they were completely quelled by the fantastic performance of the machine over the really challenging natural course through the jungle, with some crazy obstacles lined up that the Meridian took in its stride with aplomb. The car gets a crawl ratio of 20.426, which is fantastic, along with a water fording capability of 16 inches or 406 mm, similar to that of the Compass. The fantastic torque at low revs, amazing wheel articulation and great traction offered at all wheels made light work of the traction, articulation, clearance, fording and maneuverability challenges that were lined up for the vehicle. To put it simply, the Meridian is significantly more capable than the Kodiaq off the road, and for a family SUV has capabilities even 30% of which will hardly ever be utilized. It's as good as the Compass, if not better, although Jeep didn't let us know about its ground clearance despite our repeated insistence. I think it's about 210 mm, but I cannot be sure. The tires are Bridgestone Dwellers, which are pretty good on the road, though I absolutely loved the Firestone tires which featured on the Compass first and were unmatched for their performance in low traction conditions. In terms of safety, the car also gets active rollover protection, understeer control logic and active yaw control, among other active safety features. The Meridian will be available only in limited and limited options variants. The options variant will get 10-inch infotainment screen over a 7-incher, which is in the Limited. It will also get a dual pane panoramic sunroof, powered tailgate, two-tone body color and mirror caps, and a 360-degree camera over the Limited version. As mentioned before, the true rival of the Meridian is the Kodiaq, which is in short supply. The Meridian has the advantage of offering a diesel, which translates to lower running costs. In terms of features, the Kodiaq does boast extra kit in the form of heated mirrors, auto park, 3-zone climate control, paddle shifters, cool glove box and fatigue alert. But the Meridian is a far superior off-roader and more than makes up for the lack of those features with its off-road capability. Both vehicles don't have much to write home about when it comes to third row space. In terms of price, the Kodiaq is priced between 36 to 39 lakh rupees. With the top end Compaas priced at 30 lakh rupees, we believe that with its high 82% localization content, the Meridian will be priced very aggressively. A starting price of 32 to 33 lakh rupees going up to 36 lakh rupees would be fantastic. At that price, the Meridian will really be lapped up, as the bigger Fortuner and Gloucester are priced expensively at rupees 44 lakh rupees and 40 lakh rupees for their top variants respectively. It's a fantastic product, and for those who want a great brand and a sophisticated on-road drive feel, the Meridian hits the sweet spot, and then absolutely delights with the bonus of its impeccable off-roading capabilities. In my books, it's truly a winner. Your love and appreciation is all that motivates us, so if you liked the effort that we put behind this video, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to Motoroids as well. Push the bell icon to get notified whenever we publish a new video. And until next time then, this is your friend Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free and drive safe.